When you first arrive in New Orleans and you want to find out the places to go to, there are good places to see, I'd recommend talking to a hospitality manager, such as Patrick. Hi Patrick.
Hello, how are you?
So Patrick, what would you recommend a tourist to do when they first arrive in New Orleans?
Best thing to do is hop on a streetcar right here at St. Charles Avenue, take you right down into the Garden District, get you oriented in the city, it's cheap, and that's where the Mardi Gras parade routes come down.
Patrick suggested to take a streetcar, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. The familiar sound of the St. Charles Avenue streetcar is what city dwellers wake up to in the early hours of the morning. These quaint modes of transport make up the oldest operating street railway system in existence. Often referred to as movable museums, they are more than 150 years old. Once the city's only form of transport, the streetcar today is still widely used. And for just $1.25, you are given a lovely introduction to the city of New Orleans. For a first-time visitor, this is the best way to familiarise yourself with New Orleans. The olive green streetcar will climb, rumble and roll along one of the prettiest avenues in the city, allowing you to experience the charm of the many grand, elegant homes of the very plush Garden District, which reflects an exciting and prosperous period in New Orleans history. The people here spared no expense in custom designing their 20 to 30 room homes.
Welcome to the great state of Louisiana, the city of New Orleans, right here in the French Quarter. This is Wendy, the best balloon person in the world. Hi. My grandfather, right.
From Jamrock, Texas.
We're here in New Orleans and you're in Ireland. And I hope you enjoy the French Quarter scenery. And you guys have a great day.
The French Quarter is one of the most unique and historic spots in New Orleans. It is the only intact French colonial and Spanish settlement remaining in the US, giving the area an old European flavour. In fact, New Orleans began here in 1718, right in these streets, making it a living historical neighbourhood. One of the truly amazing aspects of the quarter is its French and Spanish-inspired architecture. The sheer number of historic homes, townhouses and buildings, coupled with its narrow streets, give the French Quarter an almost film set appearance. In fact, many films were shot here, including the Bond movie Live and Let Die. From the sounds of jazz floating on the sultry air, to the sights of the lush greenery hanging from wrought iron balconies of some of the world's finest restaurants, the French Quarter offers unforgettable and endless experiences to the traveller. This is Jackson Square, which is the heart of New Orleans' French Quarter, and the French Quarter is famous for its architecture, and it even has one of the oldest cathedrals in the whole of the United States. St. Louis Cathedral is one of New Orleans' most notable landmarks, dominating Jackson Square with its towering triple steeples. Since 1727, people have worshipped on this site, and the cathedral was named after the French king, Louis IX. According to locals, the greatest moment in the history of the St. Louis Cathedral was the visit of Pope John Paul II in 1987. Jackson Square is in the heart of the French Quarter. Originally, this was where public hangings and beheadings were carried out. The bronze statue in the centre is of Andrew Jackson, who led the defence of New Orleans during the War of 1812. He later became the 7th President of the United States. Surrounding Jackson Square, many artists assemble each day to sell their works. You can have your portrait or caricature done, interact with musicians, dancers, tarot card readers and clowns. Visiting the square is an ideal way to sample a cross-section of New Orleans culture.
I'm going to make a very special balloon for this beautiful lady. It's not Mardi Gras, but this is a special balloon. Hi Jane, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
My name is Johnny Balloons. And you know how the French give me a kiss on the cheek? No, you?
Hair kissing.
Okay. And this is the best way to give you. Look at those lips, babe. Give me a kiss, babe. Give me a kiss.
Yeah,
all right.
Mama.
That's New Orleans hospitality. You go,
Behind me is the famous Mississippi River, and New Orleans is nicknamed the Crescent City because of the way the Mississippi flows through it. The Mississippi is the third largest river in the world. Its origin is in Minnesota, and it travels just under 2,500 miles all the way to New Orleans. The very first steam-powered paddle wheelboat sailed into the port of New Orleans in 1812. Shortly after, the city became the premier market for the South's white gold, cotton, which was transported down the Mississippi by steamboat to New Orleans. The writer Mark Twain was a fully fledged riverboat pilot, and his experience of sailing on the Mississippi inspired him to write his Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer stories. While they no longer number in their hundreds, these paddle wheelers of New Orleans helped to recapture some of Louisiana's past.